dear faithful. In this video, we will talk about a phenomenon that is revolutionizing faith, the impressive devotion that has arisen around Carlo Acutis. The young man of the digital age, whose tomb in Assisi, Italy, now receives more pilgrims than that of Saint Francis himself, amazes the world not only for his testimony of sanctity, but also for what has been prophesied about this teenager, who died at just 15 years old. Saint Francis of Assisi appeared to his mother in dreams on several occasions and revealed surprising prophecies to her. There have been unexplained miracles attributed to her intercession, and reports of apparitions after her death are clear signs that her mission did not end with her passing. What is behind all this? Are we facing the great saint of the youth of the 21st century? Stay with us, because what we are about to tell you will leave you speechless. Carlo Acutis was born in 1991 in London, but his family was Italian and soon after moved to Milan. From an early age, he showed an extraordinary inclination for the faith, something that surprised his family, since, although they were Catholics, they were not avid practitioners. Her mother, Antonia Salzano, said that she only went to Mass at Christmas and Easter, but it was Carlo who brought her closer to the faith through his own example. From the age of 7, she attended Mass every day and recited the Rosary. His love for the Eucharist was immense. He said it was his highway to heaven, and he took care to convey to others the importance of receiving communion frequently. What struck those who knew him was his spiritual maturity. Even as a teenager, he had a deep prayer life and understood theological issues with impressive clarity. He had a great love for the Eucharist and a deep spirit of charity. He always tried to help the poor and the marginalized, donating his money and possessions to those in need. It was common to see him bringing food to the homeless and standing up for his fellow victims of bullying. His life was a reflection of the gospel in action, an even more extraordinary example in a society where many young people live far from God. He also had an innate talent for computers. At just 12 years old, he created a website where he spoke about faith, promoted adoration of the Blessed Sacrament, and studied and documented Eucharistic miracles. During her pregnancy, Carlo Acutis' mother had an extraordinary dream. Saint Francis of Assisi appeared to her and told her that the son she was carrying would have a great mission in the church. That vision was deeply imprinted in his heart, like a celestial sign that accompanied Carlo's life since birth. In fact, since he was a child, he showed an uncommon spiritual sensitivity, an ardent love for the Eucharist, and an extraordinary devotion to the Virgin Mary. Years later, shortly before Carlo fell ill, his mother received another warning from heaven. In a vision, Padre Pio appeared to her and said urgently, "Get up, your son is ill." This omen came tragically true a few days later, when Charles was struck by fulminant leukemia. Even more disturbing was the message she received shortly before her diagnosis. A voice clearly whispered to her, "Carlo is dying." But what is most striking about his story is not only what Carlo did in life, but also what happened after his death. The prophecies related to his sanctity and his future canonization are among the most extraordinary aspects. His mother said that Saint Francis of Assisi appeared to her several times in her dreams to talk to her about her son. Already in 2007, just a year after his death, the Saint of Assisi revealed to her, "Carlo is a great intercessor for young people," a statement that, over time, has proven to be prophetic. But the most surprising message came in 2010, in a moment of deep prayer inside a chapel in Assisi. Saint Francis appeared to her again and revealed something extraordinary. When Carlo is canonized, God will send the Holy Spirit upon the face of the earth and will touch every adolescent with sanctifying grace. Today, this prophecy seems to be coming true. His canonization has been set for April 27, 2025, during the Jubilee of Adolescence. An event that seems to have a value far greater than a simple liturgical celebration. It could mark an unprecedented outpouring of grace on the youth of the entire world. Carlo not only lived in sanctity, but even anticipated his own death. Without knowing he was ill, he recorded a video in which, with serene awareness, he stated, "I am destined to die young." A few weeks later, fulminant leukemia manifested itself. However, instead of despairing, Carlo accepted his illness with total peace, offering it for the Pope and the Church. To the doctors who were trying to treat him with chemotherapy, he said with a smile, "I am not afraid. God is waiting for me." On October 12, 2006, the feast day of Our Lady of Pilar, Carlo returned to the Father's house. His body was buried in Assisi as he himself had desired, near St. Francis. But his story did not end with his death. His intercession immediately became a source of extraordinary miracles. The first recognized miracle occurred in Brazil in 2013. A child named Matias, suffering from a serious pancreatic malformation, was instantly healed after touching a relic of Carlo. This miracle paved the way for his beatification, which took place in 2020. The second miracle, which was decisive for his canonization, occurred in Italy in 2022. A Costa Rican mother, desperate for her daughter in critical condition due to a cerebral hemorrhage, went to Carlo's grave and prayed with faith. That same day, the young woman inexplicably began breathing unaided, and a few days later, the bleeding stopped completely. The doctors were left stunned and without explanation, while the church recognized the miraculous sign. Today, Carlo Acutis is considered the first millennial saint, a young man who lived holiness in everyday life and who continues to intercede for young people around the world. His story is not only a tale of faith but a tangible sign of how divine grace still works today, touching the hearts of millions of people. But beyond these official miracles, there are hundreds of testimonies of healings and conversions attributed to her intercession. Furthermore, many people claim to have seen Charles after his death. An elderly woman named Faustin, who spent hours in Eucharistic adoration in Suquía, Argentina, said that for years she had seen a young man in a red sweatshirt kneeling among the adoring boys. Only when she saw an image of Carlo did she realize it was him. Another witness comes from Jerez de la Frontera, Spain, where a worker saw a young man wearing a red t-shirt in his company. He thought it was a new apprentice, but suddenly he disappeared. When they showed him a photo of Carlo, he recognized him immediately. These testimonies, which are perhaps only at the beginning, reinforce the idea that Carlo continues to be active and to help souls. Since his beatification in 2020, devotion to him has exploded. Thousands of people visit his tomb in Assisi, and his story has inspired young people from all over the world to come closer to the faith. Many see him as the model of holiness for this generation, a boy who used technology to evangelize, living a simple life but full of love for God. If you liked what we have told and analyzed, please like this video and share it with your friends. And now we ask you, do you think that his canonization will mark a before and after in the church? Will the prophecy of the outpouring of the Holy Spirit on young people be fulfilled? We would love to hear your thoughts on this topic, so please leave them in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. May God bless you and protect you.